Hi, everybody. This is Frank Clifford, and welcome to Astrologer Frank Answers. It's a new series where I get to answer your specific questions about your chart or general questions about astrology. And if you're interested, you can sign up for a free account at the London School of Astrology.com website. Email directly. You can go and visit me on Instagram if you like and follow me there. And it's really an opportunity to hopefully inspire, or at the very least not to upset and to get people worried about astrology. It really is an amazing tool that we can use to feel more involved in the world, to feel like we're following our bliss, as Joseph Campbell used to say, and how we can really become who we were born to be. And astrology is a great tool for that, for understanding our place in the world. And that's not fixed. The moment of birth is fixed, the chart is fixed in itself, but becoming who you were born to be is a destination with many routes, many possibilities along the way, and many different forms of that. And I don't really think that there's a success mark or a failure mark when we get to the end of our lives. We are who we are, and hopefully we make decisions that represent who we are and what we want to become. So, in today's question, it's one that's come up a few times over the years, and it's from somebody called Lynn, who has emailed. And let me just share Lynn's chart here that she sent me. And Lynn's got the sun, moon, and ascendant in Virgo, makes her triple Virgo. And there's a lot I could be saying about that, but her question is really about Pluto on the ascendant. And this could be useful for any of you who have a strong Pluto. And what I mean by strong Pluto is Pluto positioned in your chart where it's contacting the inner planets, particularly Sun, Moon, and Mercury, Venus, even Mars perhaps, or it's on an angle, like the ascendant, as Lynn has it here, and the chart on Virgo, or descendant, midheaven, or IC. So it's prominently placed in the chart. And her question is, can you say more about Pluto on the ascendant? Because it's often described as a challenging placement. I certainly would call it a challenging placement too. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that Pluto is nice and sweet and easy. In astrology, Pluto is, of course, in mythology, it's the god of the underworld. In astrology, it's the planet of extremes. It's not a planet of sweetness like Venus, or nurturance like the moon, or fun like Jupiter, or travel, or education. It's an outer planet. It was discovered in 1930. We've only been studying Pluto for 90-something years, when the traditional planets from Sun to Saturn in astrology have been studied for thousands of years. So we're still getting to know Pluto, and we can understand it through history before its discovery, but also we know that its discovery has coincided, and its movement through the signs coincides with the big epochs, the big eras of society. That's for another time, another video, if you're interested. So what does it mean to have Pluto on the ascendant? Well, the ascendant is how you meet the world. It's how you view, it's your particular lens on the world. It's your identity badge, you could say, how you might describe yourself or write on an identity badge that you wear. It's often known as the persona, which suggests a false self, but it's really what we use in order to navigate the world, to meet and greet, to connect with people. Now, that may be lighter than we usually are. You might be a sun in Scorpio or a moon in Scorpio, but you've got Gemini and the ascendant. So the focus deep down of who you really are is an intensity of Scorpio, but you're able to laugh in a light, playful way with the Gemini ascendant. So the ascendant is a tool, it's the vehicle, how we get to where we want to be. It's our one facet of our social persona, our social face, in a way. So going out into the world with Virgo on the ascendant, plus many other planets nearby, the need is to tidy up, to help, to be of assistance, to be of service. Now, there's a difference with Virgo of being in service to being in servitude. And I think none of us want to feel like we're in servitude or we're unpaid doormats or slaves. Virgo, you'll often find the sign in quiet positions where they run the show. They rule the roost. The sign before it, Leo, makes all the noise, the fanfare. I'm the boss. I'm the big I am. But Virgo says, well, actually, I'm the boss because I got everything prepared for you. And really, I may be working for you, but I know how to run this show. So Virgo, I always say, is one of the great control freaks of the zodiac. I just think they edited that revelation out of all the astrology books. And so having a lot of Virgo in your chart, as Lynn does, this is somebody that needs to be in control of what's around them. It's an earth sign, so it's about the physical world around them. How do I stay in control of that? If everything's tidy, I'm feeling okay. If everything's a mess, it's a reflection of how I'm still constantly in process, always in the process of juggling something, tidying something up, trying to make something useful, extracting the wheat from the chaff, being able to get to the heart of the matter. These are all Virgo points and talents as well. Now, having Pluto on the ascendant adds a gravitas, adds a you could say maybe a psychological X-ray vision, being able to smell out the bullshit, being able to sense when people are being authentic. It's like having a Sherlock Holmes on your doorstep that you can walk out the door with, or it's like having X-ray vision or having an ability to see beyond. Now, astrologically, where we have our Pluto is often where we begin in our lives, where we feel quite powerless. It might be that somebody in the family contains or holds all the rage. It might be that we've got Pluto in the fourth house, and it's the father that we're afraid of because he's the one with the power, the rage, or he's the control freak, for instance. And usually with the Pluto life cycle, the development with our own Pluto is to take that back, to wrest control back, and to become empowered, to feel powerful where you didn't feel empowered, to be potent in areas that you once felt impotent in. Pluto on the ascendant is also linked to invisibility. It's the planet of invisibility, in a way. Pluto people often don't want to be seen. They want to be behind the scenes, in a position of control, but not exposed to the light or to criticism. And you imagine that with a chart like this, with so much Virgo, there is a great sensitivity to criticism, when in fact, probably the greatest critic might be Lynn herself, or any of us who have strong Virgo. We tend to be the one that's constantly analyzing, finding fault in what we've done, trying to help others by also showing up their faults and saying, oh, you've got that wrong, or try to amend that. You know, trying to be useful rather than simply critical is usually what Virgo is about, but it gets the critical label attached to it very often because it just notices mistakes. The invisibility is interesting with Pluto because it does its best work when it's not under scrutiny, when it's below the surface, when it's behind the scenes, when it's planning, organizing. So control with Pluto in Virgo on the ascendant, it's about the control through organization, through planning. Now, I've met a lot of Pluto rising people over the years who what I call a sort of crisis junkies. They go from one emergency to the next. It might be that they've got family, friends who they're always jumping on board to help rescue, to sort their lives out for them. And it's often exhausting, I think, to have Pluto on the ascendant if you're playing that game of almost being addicted to the next crisis, the next drama. I would say with Virgo, it's important to have a lot of alone time. Virgo likes to pull down the shutters, turn off the phone, and just be with itself in process, learning something, studying something, analyzing something, indexing something, whatever it may do. So the positive side of this aspect is an ability to reinvent oneself, to go from feeling powerless, perhaps, or afraid, or, oh, I'd never want to stand up and give a lecture, to being empowered, where you found the key. You can start to empower other people. Yeah. The negative side can be going from one drama to the next, one rescue mission, or requiring that you put yourself into a position where you require rescue from other people as well. So the key is empowerment with Pluto. And the way forward with that is to watch the process, watch how you give it away, watch how you may set it up for you to fail or to be codependent or reliant on other people. I have a client of mine who's always fundraising for different projects that she does, and it's always putting her in great financial stress. And it's almost like it fuels her creativity. I'm not sure if it does, but it seems to drive her from one crisis to another. She has Pluto rising in Virgo. And you want to say, build and develop, have some sort of security rather than living off this crisis. So, yes, it is a challenging placement, Lynn. To summarize, I would certainly say that. But there is innate power and understanding of life being about transformation, metamorphosis, being able to move forward, closing that chapter. Pluto's the great survivor as well. When everything is finished, when you've been stripped down and all you've got is yourself and who you are, who and what you are. When you know that, you can move forward with great strength and ability as well. So with Pluto, when it's strong in the chart, on the ascendant in Lynn's case, it's important to take areas in your life where you felt victimized or persecuted or abused, and to turn that into something that doesn't get repeated again. Yeah. Where you're not suffering at the hands of somebody else, that you're not relying on somebody else. There's a great phrase that does the rounds. Unless somebody's paying your bills, pay no attention to their opinion of what you're doing, unless they're paying your bills, So it's about coming into your own, being in charge of life. Yes, a Pluto person will have intense, extreme life experiences sometimes. I've met a lot of Pluto people who literally work in life and death situations where they work in hospices with the terminally ill, or they're working with people who are undergoing extreme situations in their lives, like bankruptcy or family suicide or that sort of thing. So you take where you felt at mercy, or there's been a taboo of some kind, and you start limiting people's control or influence over you. It usually requires a life reinvention, and perhaps, Lynn, you've had a number of them already. I imagine with Pluto on the ascendant, you've gone through very important chapters that have needed closure and shedding your skin, moving forward, moving on. And these are all important parts of your process of really getting in touch with that inner power, that ability to shape your own life and to be in control of your own life too. Okay, well, I hope that was useful, Lynn, and anybody else that may have a strong Pluto. There's always a lot more to say about this type of placement or any particular planet. Feel welcome to email more questions in, any of you on any of these subjects, and I look forward to seeing you soon and speaking and hopefully answering some of your questions too. Okay.